Board of Selectmen meeting for May 12th, 2025. If we could all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, with that done, I'd like to open up public audience. As a reminder, as we always do, there's a 5-minute limit. And the first person on the list is Joan Coe.
From the second, third, and fourth.
I don't know, there might be a surprise guest.
Joan Coe, 26 Whitcomb Drive. Compliance with zoning regulations has continually been difficult to enforce, with businesses trying to add additional signage to their property or add signs along streets that have not been approved. Deputy First Selectman Steve Antonio has displayed a complete disregard for the zoning regulations, although owning many businesses in town that require plans and signage approval from the zoning commission. Deputy First Selectman Steve Antonio has been on boards and commissions that oversee land use of the town, including business groups that are aware of the zoning regulations. However, Deputy First Selectman Steve Antonio has knowingly and continually disregarded the zoning requirements for signage on his business property. He placed a sign on a tree with information on his outdoor storage facility in the B2 zone. It appears that the outdoor storage facility is non-compliant with the zone and should not be grandfathered in as an acceptable use. Recently, Steve Antonio was required to come before the Zoning Commission and Design Review Board to remove a sign posted on a tree that was a violation of the zoning regulations. After much discussion, a sign was approved that was professionally crafted that would be placed at the entrance to the outdoor storage facility. Antonio Restaurant has a sign on the side of the building that was not approved in the site plan when changes were made. Call Your Mother sign was not approved in the original plan and should be removed. It appears that Deputy Selectman Steve Antonio has a catch-me-if-you-can mentality that requires town staff to allocate their time to addressing the zoning violations. Steve Antonio is a businessman and leader in the community, should not consistently try to game the system. Recently, Town Planner George McGregor applied for a moratorium on Affordable Housing Act, Section 830G. The denial states, quote, DOH staff has reviewed the application and comments received has determined that the town of Simsbury's application does not meet the requirements for the issuance of a certificate of affordable housing project completion as submitted. Listed on the application was Ojekian Commons, 100 Cambridge Crossing, Eno Farms, 1602 Hop Meadow, Virginia Connolly, 1600 Hop Meadow, and Hendricks Lane. What appears to be missing from the application is Owen Murphy Apartments and town-owned rental properties. The application states that Eno Farms is owned and operated by Conover, which is incorrect. Conover manages the property and CHFA owns the property. Attorney Timothy Hollister wrote to DOH after reviewing Simsbury's application for a moratorium. Hollister states, as you know, quote, as you know, I assisted the department as a contractor with drafting the moratorium regulation in 2002. The letter continues, the department should first inquire of the town of Simsbury as to why this compliance information has not been provided and declare the application incomplete at this time, end quote. It appears the requirements for affordability under Section 830G were written with many restrictions to ensure compliance is difficult to attain. The housing market in Simsbury is quite diverse, with housing prices at all levels. Homes and apartments are priced at all levels, and some units deemed restricted. The market should regulate the cost and supply of housing units. The Affordable Housing Act has become a cash cow for the attorneys that defend the act, the building industry that can use a small parcel of land and develop the land with many units, leading to lower costs for development. Landowners who can sell it to a developer at an increased price, and lobbyists who get paid to promote affordable housing. The Affordable Housing Act places an undue burden on the town and the taxpayers, who must support an increase in population, increase in services provided that will ultimately increase taxes and impact economic development. A homeless person has taken residence at Simsbury Police Department for several weeks. The police department has become a homeless shelter. The police department is open 24/7, giving him a place to reside. He has slept on the bench in the common area and walks around town during the day. Other times he remains in the common area. According to police, he has not violated any laws. Social services cannot provide services against his will since he is an adult. It appears that he has some mental health issues, but with the present day laws, we cannot get help from the outside without his approval. Simsbury is not alone with the homeless issue. Mental health issues are very complex and requires intervention at all levels. A homeless person in the Simsbury Police Department highlights the inability of the public to give assistance to a needy person against his will until he violates the law. All of my comments will be posted on Simsbury Pat and Twitter, Joan Cole. Oh, I'm perfect today.
Girl.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joan.
Is there anyone else here for public audience that would like to speak? Okay, hearing none, I'd like to change our agenda and push consent agenda to after presentations because I'm so excited for our presentations. Our first one up is the Lake Basil pedestrian bridge, and who's gonna start talking?
I'll start.
Tom will introduce us.
So, Lake Basil is a dam, as we know from when we do our Board of Selectmen bike ride each and every year. One of the challenges has been the spillway to that dam has a pedestrian bridge over it, which has a center support that blocks the spillway. So in the event of a heavy rain and a heavy flow, that spillway is not able to discharge the amount of water that it needs to. These guys know how much water it needs to discharge because these are 3 CCSU civil engineering seniors. They're gonna come on up here and join me. We had this in our capital budget for a number of years. It was in out years, but it was certainly a liability, something that we wanted to get accommodated. And fortunately, we purchased the lumber, and these students not only designed the bridge, but they have been building the bridge as they just came from the construction. So if you guys want to take it over, maybe also introduce your professor. Good.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Zach Hines.
I'm Ferdinand Orley.
Why, Bernard?
That's Professor Sohn.
Oh.
Well done. Over the course of the last 2 semesters, we've been designing and building Lake Basil Bridge. So actually, like Professor was just saying, we just came from it. We were just building it on campus. So let's get into the
Students
presentation.
actually just called me that word that they're not used to hearing here.
Tom Roy, sorry. So, about our organization, usually we are a 4-man unit. One of our members, actually, his daughter's in the hospital right now, so he was unable to attend. Feel that's pretty understandable. We're all seniors. We're all in our capstone design. This is what this is all for. Our mission was to design and manufacture a timber bridge for the town of Simsbury and to provide a long-standing bridge so that way you are all able to enjoy it. So a little overview. So that's Lake Basil, and then in the small red rectangle, you'll be able to see the bridge. We'll also zoom in on it in this next few pictures. So again, and there's a small rectangle where the bridge is actually located and the causeway runs through. Again, same, just a zoomed in picture of what the existing site looks like.
Yeah, sure. So obviously, Lake Basil is in Simsbury. We recognize that a good portion of the lake itself is in East Granby. The biggest thing with this bridge is that it's non-compliant with ADA standards and the Dam Safety Regulatory Program. We've noticed after our site visits that water level would increase even in times of drought due to blockages in the spillway. I believe when I went there, it was recorded at least a foot increase in overall water level. So our objective obviously was to eliminate that blockage. On our initial site visit, we found our existing dimensions. We took note of the existing supports in our design, which you will see soon. We opted to eliminate the middle support and the 2 abutments that are 6x6 angle iron. The goal obviously was to be in regulation. We want to be able to afford both to ADA standards and to standards related to the dam. We obviously don't want our mid-span support and wanted to shift the support entirely on the concrete channel itself. So our applied codes, ADA standards obviously, and we opted to go with the AASHTO ASD pedestrian timber bridge design.
Okay, here's our Gantt chart for this semester, beginning in January, obviously. We went over the design, we kind of had to change some things during the design. We initially wanted to go with just a T section for our main beams. We ended up having to do an I because it's a 24-foot long bridge, so it needs a little bit of extra beef there. Eventually we got it approved, then we started material procurement, and that was kind of we had some fun with that. So that took a while. We got the material and now we're building the bridge and we're about 75-80% of the way done. So hopefully by the end of the week we'll have it done.
There's a little cost analysis for you. So I went to multiple different lumber yards. I talked to about 5 to see who could actually procure 24-foot pieces of lumber all in one piece. So we had originally talked about splitting the bridge into 2 12-foot sections, but we ruled that idea out as it wouldn't be structurally sound enough, considering we're students, not exactly professional builders. Along with that, we ended up using the same lumber company because we were able to get a discounted price for the rest of our lumber, and this is what the total came out to. I'd like to make mention that framing nails, hex bolts, and then there's also angle irons that were provided by the school. So you could discount about $200 off of that total price, but I wanted to give a more accurate representation of what the total cost of the bridge would be.
So taking a closer look at some of the design constraints I was talking about earlier, we have a 20 and a half foot clear span that we needed to build over. We opted to go for a 24-foot long bridge, so we had ample length, not really worried about being too short, if anything, being too long. But the good thing about this is we are no longer using the midspan, we are no longer using that angle iron if you see all the way to the right. The bridge did come out to be closer to 7 feet. I want to say around 6 3/4 of a foot. So definitely wider. It now it will sit on top of that concrete that you're looking at right now. I want to say, this is our final bridge design.
So I can talk about that a little bit. So I drew this up in AutoCAD. We went through a variety of different design revisions, like was stated. So one main thing, as we mentioned a few times, is design support. So you might be asking yourselves, like, why do we actually need to get rid of it? So that's against codes for US spillways. You're not allowed to have a mid support because it basically incurs blockages. So sticks, any other debris that get caught up in the spillway are gonna get trapped by that middle support. So by relieving that, this should help with the water issues. Back to our design, that's fine. You can see what our cross section looks like for this, for example. So we have edge pieces as well as smaller abutments in the middle. We went with I-beams, as was stated before. This was to increase our moment of inertia and allow us to span the proper moment. Yeah. That's our profile view to get an idea of how long it is and where our supports are.
So one thing that isn't shown here in the profile view, we actually added wooden balusters because for ADA requirements, there cannot be a wide enough space for, I want to say,
4-inch ball cannot
4-inch ball.
fit through the balusters.
So in the final design, you will see 4-inch space balusters on center. If I'm talking about SAP.
So SAP 2000 is a structural analysis program. I know that there's some math here. I'm just gonna keep it real simple. Basically, you need to figure out how much weight is gonna go on the bridge, how much does the bridge weigh, and what happens if there's snow. So this is just accounting for that on the interior beams and the exterior beams. You can go to the next slide. Here's just a quick model of what SAP can show you. So here's some of the shear values towards the end of the bridge. So we can design around the things that we can find through SAP. And then we can keep moving. Here's our lumber when we finally got it delivered. It looks nice and beautiful. As you can see, it's not super warped or anything, so that was really good. Here's some of the construction process where we were working on the webs. You have to cut everything to size. It takes a long time to put the diaphragms next to the webs. And then you can see we slowly started. Here's the full width of it. And then there's it with the decking on top. And then we flipped the bridge finally, so then we can do what will be the top of it.
And we laid our actual decking across on Friday. We actually just put our handrails up. So the first one side of the handrails is completed. We need to still put the deck balusters in. But the other side is just about done, same kind of thing. We have to put the top handrail on and then the deck balusters, and then we should be pretty good to go.
And then here's our impact statement. We're hoping that the new bridge at Lake Basil will be able to provide extra safety, a longer lifespan for the bridge, more durability there, and we're hoping that wheelchairs will be able to access it appropriately, bikes, pedestrians, everyone will be able to cross it safely.
Oh, do you guys have any questions? Sorry about that.
Sure. One, thank you. The town appreciates the work you guys did for this effort. How are you gonna get it here?
So that is
Public Works?
yes.
End of the year.
They were very surprised that I told them I own a lot of big trucks. Where they normally see me, they don't see that side of things.
And then you guys will install it?
Yep.
Good deal.
And we were able to allocate funds, working with Tom Tversky, that were for cleaning the spillway. When we bring the machine out that's gonna set the bridge, it's also gonna help clean the spillway and the debris all at once, so.
How did you choose this project to take on?
So essentially, we in the beginning of our semester, our first semester last fall rather, we were looking at a few different projects to assign. One was for one of the other engineering department members, and it was a bridge to would allow for pedestrians to cross. Unfortunately, it was too long. It was about 30 feet wide, and that's too long for us to actually build. So we needed a bridge that was around 20 feet long, and so this one happened to be slightly longer than that, and we were able to weasel our way into it. So it was a little bit tough actually finding a pedestrian bridge that was needed.
Well, again, thank you
Yeah, of
very
course.
much for taking this on for us. We appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you. Yep. Thank you guys.
Do we grade them now?
I'm shocked that Steven didn't say it was a damn good project.
Chair, I think they saved taxpayers a lot of money had we tried.
At least on the nails, I heard.
Thank you very much. Good job.
Thank you.
There's a lot of technical terms and things that they use, and I'm like, I'm not gonna question what that is. That programming, and I was like, I don't know what that is.
So a continual source of our pride is our next presentation. It's the APWA presentation for Top 10 Public Works Leader Award. Please take the floor. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Rick Stinson. Previously was the Public Works Director in Wakefield, Mass. Until I retired in 2019. Also a top 10 recipient from a long time ago, unfortunately. Goes way back, longer than I want to remember. And I'm with John Lawler, who from the city of Meriden, Connecticut, who is also a top 10 recipient. So I wanted to start by first commending Tom for being selected as an APWA Top 10 recipient. This is one of the most coveted and prestigious awards that is issued by the American Public Works Association. This year marks the 65th anniversary of the Top 10 Public Works Award. Since its inception in 1960, the Top 10 Award has now recognized 660 people. Exceptional men and women who reflect the highest professional standards. Top 10 Public Works Leader of the Year seeks to inspire excellence and dedication in public service by recognizing the outstanding career service achievements of individual public works professionals and officials from both the public and private sector in North America. The award represents the best of public works. I wanted to put in context what being selected for this award means. There are approximately 30,000 members of APWA from the US and Canada. Plus, there are other members that come from across the world that are also members. Very few, but there are some in there. Since 1960, an estimated number of potential recipients of the award is approximately 420,000 people. And to be one of the 660 of 420,000 people is quite an accomplishment. APWA members, both US and Canada, really seek out this award. People ask you if you would consider being submitted for that award. What it all means is this year's recipient is in a very select group of public works professionals. And to be selected is a tremendous accomplishment again, and I want to congratulate Tom on this tremendous honor. And Simsbury is very fortunate to have Tom as their public works director.
Good evening. As Rick mentioned, I'm John Lawler. I'm the Vice President of the New England chapter of the American Public Works Association. And it is certainly my honor to join you here this evening to recognize Tom Roy as a top 10 North American Public Works Leader of the Year. Being recognized as a top 10 Leader of the Year is the most coveted and prestigious public works award available within our profession. This unique award is sponsored each year by both the American and Canadian Public Works Association. And as Rick had mentioned, it's presented to just 10 individuals whose excellence in public works earns them this individual distinction. The honorees are awarded this recognition for their professionalism, expertise, and personal dedication to improving the quality of life in their communities through the advancement of public works services and technology. Tom is a well-rounded and well-respected leader within our profession, not only here in Simsbury, but across Connecticut, New England, and the United States. He has been a great ambassador for Simsbury and our profession while providing mentorship to emerging leaders, as we saw here this evening, leading innovation for change, and transforming infrastructure improvements with economical solutions. Tom is a perfect example of what it means to be a leader within one's profession. Tom is an active and influential member of the American Public Works Association New England chapter, serving as its president in 2024. During his tenure in the New England chapter, he consistently demonstrated his commitment to the organization's mission through his participation in numerous committees, some of which included membership, scholarship, finance, public works awareness, as well as serving as the treasurer of the 2016 North American Snow and Ice Conference, which we hosted here in New England, in Hartford, actually. His willingness to volunteer his time and expertise across diverse initiatives underscores his deep-seated passion for our public works profession. With over 30 years of experience, Tom has continually used his knowledge and expertise to improve his community. His calm and level-headed approach has proven valuable, navigating the many crises that have arisen during his watch, including blizzards, floods, tropical storms, microbursts, and of course, Winter Storm Alfred back in 2011. Tom has worked to maintain and improve Simsbury's infrastructure with pavement management, stormwater quality, and energy-efficient buildings. Additionally, he has worked to build an efficient team for snow removal as well as daily operations. And he has done all this within tight budgets and with efficient financial management. It is for all these reasons that he is being recognized as one of the very best. So Tom, it is with great pride that I present you the Top 10 Public Works Leader of the Year Award on behalf of our National President, Dominic Longobardi. Ladies and gentlemen, Thomas J. Roy, Public Works Director, Town of Simsbury, Top 10 Leader.
I don't know, all these kind words, it's a little too much. I see everybody hiding out in the hall back in there. I just did want to take a real quick minute and say, first off, it's tough to accept this as an individual award. Public Works is a team sport. I see a lot of my team hiding out there, and a couple, I think I saw one of our custodians out in the back corner. There's nothing that we do in Public Works that's not part of a team. And that team extends not only to my direct reports, it includes the staff that we see out there working hard in the streets, in the sewer plant, and in this building each and every day. And also all of you, because since I've been here, it's been such a great relationship with the elected officials and the fact that you trust me to do my job. And last but not least, couldn't do any of this without my wife supporting me at home. So thank you. Want to do a picture with everybody? I don't want to steal the show. Okay, I got you. All right.
So on behalf
Can we
of us,
ask Tom to wear the medal?
did you get Stacy something for her neck, maybe?
That might be a good idea.
So I think I speak for all of us. We're so proud of you and honored and appreciative that you are a part of us. So thank you for your many years.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next thing.
Do you need a picture, Mark?
I'd love to get one if you could call a recess
I'd
just for
love to
2 minutes,
call a recess
Sharon.
for that.
Can we get you
Please.
a picture with the board?
Thank you.
Can we move that over?
Yeah.
Is that,
Just be careful, it's not a car.
Can we get Tom to lay on the dais?
We're just gonna
You might need to start a couple of things.
Yeah.
Calculate the load on the thing first, right? Make sure, yeah.
let that occur. Think you more? No, that's good, right there by the seal, that's great.
Frame it so it doesn't have a reflection. Change the angle.
First, like,
Good
job, John.
No, if it goes all the way down, it's too.
Do you wanna be on the other side of the
It'll-
picture? Or next to it?
Sure, I don't care.
Careful.
You should be on the other, like Tom on one side, you on the other side.
Yeah.
Yes.
How come it says someone else's name?
Stephen, can I get you next to the?
Push it up,
there you go.
move it up. And then lock it down, it locks it down.
Just take it like that.
Is anybody an engineer in here?
Imagine that.
Do you want to just hold it?
I think
The meeting back to order. Continuing with our presentations, May is Bike Month.
You can go.
Are you gonna be reading the proclamation? How do you wanna proceed with
You
this?
should have the proclamation.
We do, and I'd love to read it. I wasn't sure if you wanted to,
Pat, if you read it, you wanna just do it at the podium?
if you'd like to, by all means. Okay, so since I'm just the substitute for Wendy, I think we'll still follow her protocol where we all read a paragraph.
That's good. Do you wanna hear from them first and then we'll do?
Yep,
Yes.
by all means.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Do you have a presentation or would you like us to read the
Well,
proclamation? However
Well,
you'd like it done.
usually you read the proclamation.
Sure.
I
Okay.
don't know.
Let's do that.
Let's do the,
Yes.
I think you're right.
Is there anything you
Whatever
would
you
like to
say.
say?
How do you
Is there
want to
anything
do
you
this?
would like to
After-
say?
I
Yeah.
think after our
After
proclamation.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, Kevin, you wanna
Sure.
start?
Town of Simsbury proclamation, May as Bike Month. Whereas millions of Americans use the bicycle as a healthy and environmentally sound form of transportation and a tool for fitness and recreation, and bicycling offers a way to experience Simsbury's scenic beauty and landscape. And
Whereas Simsbury led the state as Connecticut's first bicycle-friendly community, and whereas bicycle-friendly communities have been shown to improve the health and the quality of life for residents by making a town attractive to businesses and individuals who enjoy safe outdoor recreation by promoting sustainable transportation that contributes to economic development, improves traffic congestion, and mitigates pollution, and
Whereas the Board of Selectmen, Simsbury Public Schools, Simsbury Public Library, Culture, Parks and Recreation Department, Police Department, Department of Public Works, Simsbury Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Committee, and various companies, local businesses, and civic groups will be promoting bicycling during the month of May, and
Whereas these organizations and groups offer many contributions to Bike Month as they help promote bicycle tourism and advocate for more education and greater public awareness of bicycle safety in an effort to reduce collisions, injuries, and fatalities while improving the health and safety of everyone on our roads and multi-use trails.
Now therefore be it resolved, we, the Board of Selectmen, hereby proclaim May as Bike Month in silver level bicycle friendly Simsbury and call upon all of us to put on our helmets and start pedaling. And we've got our proclamation.
Okay,
Signed.
thank you. Well said.
I'd like to
Thank you,
present it
everybody.
to you, Buzz.
So my name is Diana Moody. This is David Westcott. We are both members of the Simsbury Bicycle Pedestrian Committee. And so we're just here to sort of educate you a little bit about what this is all about. So the Bike Proclamation is a document that promotes National Bike Month, as they were saying, but it's to advance the movement to build a more bicycle-friendly America in hopes to create a better and healthier lifestyle for everybody. So that was really the motive to do that. It was started by the League of American Bicyclists, hope I don't lose my voice, who's been actually in existence since 1880. And they were one of the first people to actually start building roads. And they started building roads to help the bicyclists who were quite muddy and dirty. So it evolved into a national organization that started initiating bicycle-friendly communities across the country. In 2010, Simsbury became the first bicycle-friendly community in the state of Connecticut. In 2012, the bicycle committee was formed, and we collectively decided that we wanted to increase our status. So the levels are, you can get an honorable mention, bronze, silver, platinum, or gold. So we were bronze, so we wanted to shoot for the silver. It's a tremendous amount of work. The town has to become involved. One of the biggest part of the applications is actually the engineering, which is where Tom comes in again, Department of Public Works. So, he wears a lot of hats, as we know. So he was essential in completing the application. And we were so happy with the work that he did, we decided to name him the town bicycle manager. So he's also now the town bicycle. It has been.
Congratulations.
So
Another designation.
you left. And I was gonna look, did you hear what I said?
I heard nice things and we're overflowing today.
So, so in 2012, Simsbury became the first silver bicycle-friendly community. And if anybody is bored, wants to read something, the hard copy of the application is in the town manager's office. So you can sit and read it. You can't take it out because if you lost it, I would have to hurt you. Well, actually, no, Tom has one. So, and there are also maps of the trails, so you can go in there, a multi-purpose stop. So I do want to talk a little bit about the Bike Month events. So we have Bike Work Day, which is May 15th, which really is a lot of fun because it's going to be with Senator Paul Honing. And it starts, you would meet at the Weetog parking lot, and you would ride from there to the State House. And also there are buses to take you there and back. If you don't want to ride both ways, you can decide what you want to do. But the buses are there and they do have bike racks. We have Bike Walk to School at Tooten Hills on May 15th, Latimer Lane on May 16th, and last but not least, we have the Board of Selectmen ride. This is a tradition in this town. Again, Tom Roy is usually there, and we usually end it with ice cream. So don't miss that. That's May 28th, and we meet here at Town Hall at 5:30. I do want to talk just a couple of minutes about safety and also maintenance. Safety is a priority. And whether you're on foot, bike, or car. So I wanted to mention, of course, we lost most of our audience, but one of the things I really do want to highlight is that the town has worked hard, along with the police department, to recognize where we want to put all these new crosswalks, the blinking lights, so people don't use them properly. So the thing that we see the most is that they don't push the button. And the reason why you push the button, even if there's not a car coming, there could be a car coming. So it gives the automobile advanced warning because the light will be blinking so they know somebody is coming across the road. So if you want to help educate people about the lights, please try to tell them that. The police department, we can't do it without our police department. They work so hard to keep us safe. They put out the LED lights all the time for not just the cyclists, for everybody, for the cars, the walkers, for everybody to help promote safety because we want to keep everybody safe. We can't forget the Parks and Rec Department, Tom Taberski, who works hard to keep our trails in shape. Because it is a lot of work. Plus he's got the golf course too. To help us along a little bit, we have what's called Adopt-A-Mile volunteers that are chosen by the Farmington Valley Trails Council. And I do want to mention that we have some businesses and organizations here in Simsbury that are our Adopt-A-Mile volunteers. First, I'll start with our first selectman, Steve Antonio. He is one of our Adopt-A-Mile volunteers. We have the bicycle seller, Weldon Hardware, the Redstone Pub, and the Rotary Club together as our contact. So we do have a lot of good people here that also help Tom as much as we can, to help maintain the trails. So if you want to find out more, you can go to our website, which is simsbury.bike, and find out more. Our newsletters are there, and we would love to see more of you. So thank you. David, do you have anything to add?
I can't add anything to that.
Okay, any questions?
Any questions?
I'll move effective May 12th to adopt the May is Bike Month proclamation as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you
Nice
very
job.
much. Can I give you the proclamation? Suitable for framing. Thank you, Diane. Appreciate it and all you do. All right, our last presentation is June as Pride Month proclamation. That's more us than a presentation, isn't it? Or-
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, with that being said, let's follow the same rigmarole. I believe everyone has a copy of the proclamation. Kevin, do you want to start again?
Sure.
Just consistency?
Town of Simsbury proclamation, June as Pride Month. Whereas the town of Simsbury is committed to supporting the visibility, dignity, and equity for everyone in our community and affirms our obligation to protect the most vulnerable among us. And
Whereas we recognize the contributions of LGBTQ+ residents, students, employees, and business owners to the cultural and civic fabric of our town and remain committed to protecting their civil rights in our unified effort to forge a more open and just society. And
Whereas advancements have been made with respect to the equitable treatment of LGBTQ+ people throughout the nation, but there continues to be discrimination, injustice, and acts of hate, making it important for towns like Simsbury to stand up and show support for members of our community who identify as LGBTQ+ and
Whereas Simsbury joins many cities and towns across the United States in celebrating June as Pride Month as a commitment to standing in solidarity with all LGBTQ+ Americans. And do you want me to continue?
Sure.
And whereas the rainbow flag is widely recognized as a symbol of pride, inclusion, and support for social movements that advocate for LGBTQ+ people in society.
Now therefore be it resolved, we, the Board of Selectmen, hereby proclaim June as Pride Month in Simsbury and call upon all of us to reflect on ways we can all live and work together with a commitment to mutual respect and understanding, support our LGBTQ+ community, and recognize all LGBTQ+ members whose influence, advocacy, and contributions to our neighborhoods make Simsbury a vibrant community in which to live, work, and play. And we have a proclamation that is signed. Mark, who do we give this to?
The first select,
First line.
we'll hang on to that.
So,
All right,
Yeah, we actually will display them.
great.
I will move effective May 12th, 2025 to adopt the proclamation in honor of Pride Month as presented. Further move to authorize the pride flag to be raised outside of Town Hall for the month of June 2025.
I second.
All those in
so
favor?
I'd be willing to vote for the proclamation. Last year I didn't vote to raise the flag in front, and I plan to do that again, this year, so if it's acceptable, I'd like to amend the motion and just have it address the proclamation.
Okay, let's do that motion first.
Okay, so I accept your friendly amendment and we will have a second on just the
Yeah, we'll do a
First part?
second motion.
Great.
All those in favor of the amended motion? Aye?
Aye.
All right, that part is unanimous.
Further move to authorize the pride flag to be raised outside of Town Hall for the month of June 2025.
So that's the motion. Who would like to
I'll
second?
second.
And is there any discussion?
I'd like to have a
Did we
little
discuss the event or the ceremony or even this proclamation with the DI council previous to this?
I'm not aware of that just being upfront.
I had a discussion, it doesn't seem like they were aware. So I found out about the proclamation, so I shared it, it doesn't seem like they were aware, so I think for future years, we probably can leverage the group that, you know, we've appointed to facilitate these things, so as a liaison, I take that seriously, so I did share it once I was aware of it and didn't get any specific opposition to this, but I did get reactions to the type of language that sounded more about separating a group as opposed to being inclusive, which is part of their activity, so that's the only comment I would have if we're having discussion overall. I believe that the DEI Council is organizing an event with the library in June, separate to this flag raising.
I did see that picnic.
Did you have something you wanted to say?
Oh, I was just going to say that, you know, I think with our third flagpole that we have, that it would be good at some point for us to have a discussion on our agenda for our flag policy. I think perhaps using the third flagpole to maybe support other proclamations with their flag, or I don't know, just come up with, I just think we should address it since now that we have a third flagpole.
So noted.
I agree with that.
So there's
Motion second.
still a motion and a second. All those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I vote no.
And there it lies.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, it passes. Okay. Apologize, okay. With that being said, I'd like to circle back to the consent agenda. I'd like to propose for the consent agenda, under Selectmen action, item A, authorize the town manager to issue tax overpayment refunds. Item C, approval of a supplemental appropriation for Aquarium Water Company's 2024 water main replacement project paving contribution. Item E, authorize the town manager to apply for the 2026 Patrick Leahy Bulletproof Vest Partnership Grant through the U.S. Department of Justice. Item F, authorize the town attorney to enter a settlement agreement regarding a pending tax appeal for Simsbury Hot Meadow Street LLC, better known as Dino Noble. Appointments and resignations. Item A, acknowledge the receipt and resignation from the Economic Development Commission from the Vice Chair Matt Nacharian, and thankful for his service in helping reorganize that in a very productive manner, that being the EDC. Items B, acknowledge receipt of a resignation from Diversity, Equity and Inclusion Council, Nicole Kodak. We're greatly appreciative for her contributions as well. And lastly, item D, appoint a regular member to the Public Building Committee, which would be Marcy Ann Tim, which I am very excited to have her join. Is everyone in agreement with those?
I'll move those items into the consent agenda.
Second.
All those in favor?
I just wanna make one comment, just for
Sorry.
public knowledge, is the supplemental appropriation, that money was prepaid by Aquarian, and we're just now supplementing it from what I understand, so that the just making that note for the public.
It's from Aquarian to us and
Correct.
it's already in the budget.
Correct. So I just wanted to make that clear and continue to move to consent agenda.
Okay, with that being stated, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Okay, moving forward to the first Selectman report. I of course would like to congratulate our first Selectman, Wendy Maxtutis, for her master's degree in public administration. We're all proud of her. Maybe we'll give her a proclamation at some point, not today though.
Yay, Wendy, graduated today.
Just a reminder, Memorial Day is May 26th, which is fast coming upon us. 9 o'clock is the beginning of the parade in Terriffill, and 12:30 is the beginning of the parade in Simsbury. And lastly, the budget passed, so we want to thank all the people that participated both in the budget as well as the actual referendum. And lastly, one more thing, Wendy will have a first Selectman's report that she will circulate in the near future. So with that, Mark, Town Manager's report, please.
Thank you, Chair. I'll circle back to our first selectman in just a minute, but let me get through a couple of announcements. And I just want to take a second on you mentioned it, Chair, the budget pass. I want to thank both this board, the Board of Education, and also the Board of Finance for the terrific and collaborative work this year. And thanks to the public, we saw a little bit of a drop in voter turnout, but I think we saw an increase in the public engagement around the process. So I wanted to be sure to thank this board very much for that. We already recognized Mr. Roy, so I won't go through that again, but we are very proud of what all our team members accomplish here every day in their service to our community, and Tom certainly deserved that award. We're very proud of him. On April 23rd, prior to April 23rd, this board had authorized me to enter into a memorandum of understanding with our fire district. I'm proud and happy to say that we did that immediately upon your approval, and we will now be working hand in hand with our fire district by supporting their IT needs and obviously security around cybersecurity and so forth. Also, the town is in the middle of and is almost done. I think the draft report is on my desk with a cybersecurity update, which we'll be briefing the board on. I believe in executive session at your meeting in June. We want to share with you some of the progress we've been made, and also some of the risks that all municipalities and local governments are finding themselves in the cybersecurity space, which obviously is very important. As some of you probably noticed, I think out front, the Simsbury Volunteer Fire Company is removing the bricks around the town hall clock tower. Stay tuned for that. I don't want to get out in front of their announcements, but take a look out there by our new flagpoles if you can. Also on April 23rd, some of us, and I think Tom Roy was in there as well, as along with our police chief, Chief Bolter, we were at the Simsbury High School's career fair back at the end of April as well. And I see our HR director, Director Gomes, is in the audience. We are hiring here at Simsbury, so check our postings on Indeed and on the government, on our town website for job opportunities here, especially if you're a Simsbury High School graduate. I was joined by Deputy First Selectman Stephen Antonio at the Prime 4 hydration opening. And I, for one, have signed up, so I'm going to be over there with one of our newest businesses. Bike Month, you all know. A point of personal privilege, just want to congratulate our first selectman, and my deputy is actually going to put a picture up, which Wendy does not know we are doing, but
That's excellent. I second the motion.
I will do this without a vote, so if there's any question, please show those two pictures.
Is that the picture?
That's it.
It should go.
Wendy the mountain.
Wendy has moved on.
Which one did
Bottom
she?
by the water.
Technical difficulties, hang on.
Did she hit the iceberg?
Well, anyway, while we're looking to get the two pictures, so just for the public and for Wendy and her family, Franklin from my office and I were able to attend today. This brief ceremony was held at the Infinity Hall in downtown Hartford. The keynote speaker was our very own state Connecticut Attorney General Todd. And Wendy was one of the two people, graduates chosen to speak. I'm not going to show a clip of that, but I can tell you it was probably the best speech from our first selectman that I've ever heard. It was really moving, and she was so thrilled. So on behalf of all of the town employees, we want to congratulate her. It was a 2-year program, and she worked very hard on that. I think she gave up something like 20 Saturdays over the last couple of years to get that credential. So any luck with that photo?
Somehow you have my desktop but not what's on my screen. If
Well-
you'd like to see it.
And there's another one with her.
That's
Can you show
great.
the other one real quick? I know the folks at home won't be able to see it, but we have this great shot of Wendy, sort of saying hello to the audience. And it was a packed house too, a few hundred people there. But we'll share the pictures, Chair, if you don't mind. You guys might want to share that on.
I'd ask you to include it in your town manager report, so it's sent
Well,
to
I didn't want to risk that. Wendy might say that's not the best picture. We got a really good picture. Very quickly, we know June 2nd, Pride raising ceremony, more coming up on that. I've been asked to remind everybody the Simsbury Chamber Music Festival is hosting their annual Chamber Music Masterworks on June 3rd at 7:30 p.m. at Eno. And that, as always, is a free concert, and we love to see that those free concerts at Eno. And that's all I've got, Chair. Thank you.
Question about the fire department.
Yep.
I also noticed that they had been doing, looks like, some safety check, equipment check over in the parking lots by Bank of America.
Yep.
And so I just wanted to note that I've been noticing they've been undergoing that, and I think that's really great to check the equipment and the hoses, and they've been there last week for several days.
We're also grateful for their attendance at Touch a Truck. I know some of you were able to get there, when was that?
Saturday.
Saturday. I was
Saturday
there
morning.
for about an hour, then thankfully the rain held off, and it was very well attended, and both SVAA and the fire district were there, so it was a good, a good collaboration.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, we got a screen picture of.
Kind of, I somehow
Wendy and I.
have a separate monitor over here on my laptop.
Oh, you're an extended disc.
Do you have the other one?
Yeah, it's there, hang
I
on.
want them to see the one with her on stage. That was my
No,
favorite.
It just disappeared.
I know it's tough.
Yeah, I don't, there, oh.
Scroll down maybe.
There you go.
There it is. That's the one I like. It's like the cover page. She was,
That is.
yeah.
Computer's doing.
That's a good photo.
That's all I had, Chair. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. To keep it moving along, Selectman Looney, do you have anything from your liaison committee reports?
Sure thing. For zoning, they had a meeting for the Simsbury Performing Arts Center. Their funding is all set, mix of grants from the state, town funds, and private fundraising. It was approved. There was an application by Mr. Antonio to have a sign put up, that was also approved. They also looked at the EV charging station site plan, and that's for zoning. For police commission, we had two officers leave the force. 2 officers have returned from extended leave. They currently have 3 open positions. The Simsbury Police Academy, Citizens Police Academy has ended. I want to thank Officer Ball, 9-week program. It was a fun program. Learned lots about the police department. I encourage everyone to do it next year. It's a very entertaining and very moving event, I guess you'd say. I want to let everyone know there's a speed limit change for Notch Road. It's now gonna be consistently 25 miles an hour. You're also gonna put signage for large trucks on that same road. The signage should be posted this week. We continue to have high overtime. Want to also thank Commissioner Mike Long, as today was his last meeting as police commissioner, had over 20 years of service. I believe that we have something today to go over for a new member for the police commission. And I know that it may be covered by other people, but there's an event coming up for autistic. I don't know how the proper way to say it, but basically to allow the officers to work with people who have autism and be able to work with them to understand how to approach them and go through the process. So it's on June 21st from 9 to 1 p.m. I'll leave this here if anyone. That's all.
It's to practice police stops for both drivers who may have autism as well as passengers who have autism. So fostering a partnership and good relationships between individuals with autism and our police. And it's also neighboring police departments are involved as well. And catch Kevin and I on SCM.
Heather?
I don't have anything.
All right.
What do you do?
I actually, I forgot, I also have regular things. The EDC, they shared their input with the Charter Economic Development Commission, shared input with the Charter Review Commission, and they're looking forward to working with Simsbury Main Street Partnership in creating a list of all Simsbury office spaces and alternative uses for such. And the grand opening, as Mark mentioned, Prime IV, Hydration and Wellness we attended. Also Studio 760 in the Landmark Building, which is right at 760 Hot Meadow Street, opened up. And lastly, Made by Pam, the bakery that is near Antonio's, will open on Thursday, May 22nd.
Peruvian bakery.
Yes,
Can't
thank
miss
you.
that.
To be delicious. Board of Education, there was a ribbon cutting for the new building for the Farmington Valley Transition Academy on May 6th. It was well attended. It's great to see that new building. It's fully renovated and occupied now, and it's deserving for those students that attend there. Culture Parks and Rec, there was cleanup day on May 3rd. It was a huge success, so thank you to Tom Taberski and Tom Roy for coordinating that, and for Katrin Husman, who was also on site to help our residents. We had a lot of great participation from the town and helping to keep our town and roads clean. Lots of trash filled up that dumpster that was out front. There was a fair rent hearing. There was 2 cases that came up, and they were mentioned in my report last time in my absence, but we did have a hearing on April 30th. It was left that the Fair Rent Commission proposed a settlement to both parties, and it was on the renter to accept or decline, and if they declined, it would then have to go to court. And we're waiting on that answer, but that is where that stands, but it was a fair process. And that is all I have.
Kevin?
It was a pretty successful a day on the 3rd. A lot of folks are around for the cleanup day, which was great to see so many folks out to help clean up the town. The Historic Trades of the Revolution Day at Simsbury Historical Society, and my daughters got into the fun sewing with their grandmother there for the quilters. And we gave a proclamation. Several of us were there in honor of Noah Phelps, and it was great. I mentioned this to the Deputy First Selectman at the grand opening for our hairdresser in town on the 250th anniversary of Noah Phelps getting that critical intelligence to capture Fort Ticonderoga when visiting a barber. So what a serendipitous, I guess, coincidence that happened. And congrats to Sustainability Committee and many others who turned out for the Sustainability Fair. I don't have numbers on attendees, but it was quite busy and a lot of fun and multi-generational there as well. So hopefully folks were able to participate or learn something new about sustainability when they were there. I'll also mention, it was already mentioned during the consent agenda, many thanks and congratulations to Nicole. Thanks Nicole Kodak for her service to the community for several years during some challenging times, including COVID and other things, and trying to do right by the town. And so we with regret accepted her resignation as she moves on and away from the community, can no longer serve. But the good news, I think, for somebody like her is that the committee's work continues on because of the amount of work that she put in setting up a good process. I do have a question in that vein, though. I think that there were 3 nominees that the DEI Council put forward to fill vacancies, and those are currently in limbo, and I don't know what the status of those are.
Can I speak to that, Mark?
You may, sure, yes.
Or, so it did come up in personnel, and there seemed to be, we tabled it. We didn't say not or for, we were missing some critical pieces of information as far as the composition of the DEI going forward. So that will be on our next agenda, if I'm not mistaken. So it's circulating, it's government.
Sure.
Slowly.
Sure.
So,
I just hadn't heard anything.
Yeah, it's basically tabled, it's waiting for the mechanics to all work through it and engage. So with that, let's keep moving forward.
Chair, if I could, I had one thing I forgot. Do you mind 1 second?
No, we've moved past that. Okay, sure, Mark.
I just wanted to, I was told and reminded twice, so I apologize. We do want to recognize the Simsbury Granby Rotary Club. And I was told, and they have been supporting the police cadet program now for 3 years. And the chief wanted to make sure that we expressed our thanks to the Rotary Club for that. Recently, the Rotary Club donated funds to support 2 cadets at the academy for this summer. And as the chief indicated, they have a long history of supporting our mission to serve and provide services to the community. So my apologies for skipping that earlier. Thank you,
You didn't
Chief.
skip it. We wanted to highlight it
Yeah,
at the end.
thanks.
Oh, and I forgot to mention that Simsbury High School graduation is June 11th, because we will be meeting after that.
I should probably.
Yes, so for Board of Ed, Simsbury High School graduation is June 11th, scheduled at the Meadows and inside the gym with inclement weather, so please note for the public as well, because we know it gets busy and crowded.
Okay, with that being said, let's move forward with Selectmen action, scheduling a public hearing for the 2025 Neighborhood Assistance Act applications. We need to set the public hearing for June and we'll take action then. So the move effective May 12th, 2025 to set a public hearing to receive public comment on the proposals submitted by the Simsbury Grange, Simsbury Volunteer Ambulance Association, and the Simsbury Free Library pursuant to the 2025 Connecticut Neighborhood Assistance Act for 6 p.m. on Monday, June 16th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Oh, any discussion?
Should we reserve our questions for after the public hearing or?
I think that'd be, yeah.
Okay,
Let's hear from the three, and then if you have any questions.
perfect.
And we can ask them.
Great.
Alright, with that being said, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And it's unanimous. The next item is authorize the town manager to execute a successor collective bargaining agreement with the United Electrical Radio and Machine Workers of America, UE Local 222, Local 41, Public Safety Dispatchers, better known as our dispatchers for the police department. Alright, so I apologize. With that being said, can I have a motion effective May 12th, 2025 to authorize town manager Mark Nelson to execute the proposed successor collective bargaining agreement between the town of Simsbury and the United Electrical Radio and Machine Workers of America, UE Local 222, Local 41, July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2029 as presented. Someone like to make that motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, would anyone like to discuss it? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
That passes as well unanimously. Okay, that moves us to appointments and resignations. We'd like to acknowledge the receipt of a resignation and appoint a regular member to the police commission. The first one would be the resignation of Mike Long, which was how many years, Curtis?
It was 20 plus.
It's crazy. He's been a huge part of our town, and I don't even know what I could say that would equal how much Mike Long has given us in effort and accomplishment. So thank you very much for him. Part of the reason we moved this to did not include in the consent agenda is the person that we are proposing to appoint as a regular member to the police commission is Jonathan Yisley, which I believe is related to one member of the board.
So I am recusing myself from this vote, so therefore, since I am recusing myself, it could not be part of consent agenda. I can accept Mike Long's resignation, but I will recuse myself from Jonathan's appointment.
All right, with that being said, we'll do it in two parts. Move effective May 12th, no, hold it, I'm on the wrong one, I apologize. I have to go backwards, I apologize. Move effective May 15th, 2025 to acknowledge the resignation of Michael T. Long as a regular member of the police commission.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
So why is it May 15th instead of May 12th?
I think it might have been to get through today's meeting potentially.
Yeah, because if he resigned effective today, he wouldn't have been able to participate in the meeting that happened earlier today.
Okay, then I just don't know about it, we can accept it in the future, I guess effective.
Yeah,
in the
within
future
an
date.
effective date.
Okay.
We're accepting it today with an effective date. So a movement accepting the resignation of Michael T. Long as a regular member of the police commission with an effective date of May 15th. Who made the motion? Was it-
Yes, I did.
Do you accept that change?
Effective today? or
No.
effective May 15th?
Yeah, we accept it today with an effective date of May
Correct,
15th.
I accept that friendly amendment.
All those in favor?
Just one thing I'd say is
Yep,
just,
I'm sorry,
you're
no,
saying that
I'll go
we are
slower.
proposing it, we're not the ones proposing Jonathan.
No, we're
But
accepting.
We're accepting.
We're accepting the resignation for Jonathan.
I can-
Right now, we're accepting the resignation of Michael Long.
Oh, we're just, okay.
Right now, we're accepting it,
The resignation.
we're accepting it today, effective the 15th for Michael Long.
Any
Aye.
additional discussion?
No.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, and then we have to make another motion, effective for today, May 12th, effective May 15th, 2025, to appoint Jonathan Yaisley as a regular member of the Police Commission.
I'll make the
Someone,
motion.
I'll second.
is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Against and abstain.
One abstention.
All right, so welcome Jonathan to your dream appointment. All right, we're coming near the end. Review of the minutes. The first minutes are April 21st, 2025 for our,
Approve the minutes of April 21st.
is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I abstain, I was not there.
All right, so it still passes. And then reviewing the minutes for the April 22nd, 2025 special meeting. Would someone like to make a motion?
I'll move to approve.
And second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Against, abstain?
Abstaining, I was not present.
All right,
The only meetings
so
I've ever
those are
missed.
accepted. The next up is communications, Eric, thank you so much for being patient. We are to your point. In personnel, we have had ongoing discussions regarding the GovHR study. And we see the benefits and also room for improvement possibly in the future. But all in all, it was a great experience, but it was so enlightening when Eric Gomes spoke to us and explained the GovHR study. Would you like to discuss it today, or we do have the communication? So does anyone have any discussion or questions for Eric?
Any questions for Eric, please feel free.
Take a moment until everyone's ready.
Yeah,
I don't
make it
wanna
there.
rush it.
Let me get there for a second.
It's actually quite informative.
Yeah. Eric, when is, so if we found that we needed to rebalance some of the compensation, and I know we went through everything earlier where you had the different numbers up for classifications. Is there a step up or sliding scale, when does this all become effective, and is it like in a step in kind of, if something was way off, if there was something that we needed to put back in balance, but it was significantly off for whatever reason, is there a step program to it, or is it effective, all at once? Can you just talk through the timing of it?
Sure, so, and it may be a mix, I don't think anything is gonna be immediate, the way that, the study is a tool. In practice, what will happen is through regular negotiations, the strategy is really to feather those changes in over time, and it's all gonna depend upon the contract that we're negotiating. To our experience thus far, we've been able to bring those positions along over the course of any given contract period. And not to get too deep in it, because some of these are still active negotiations, but the goal is to appropriately feather them in to withstand any financial constraints, any major impacts to our overall budget, over the course of the life of the contract.
Any additional comments?
Are any of the new open positions that we have in town, ones that are going to be reclassified, like would have been under an old classification and now with a new hire would be under new classification, or they're kind of staying steady?
For any of our, when you say new positions.
Well, they're open positions that we have.
Yeah, so any open
We
positions.
have not new positions.
We don't have careful with that.
We have not authorized new positions.
And I'm thinking of our open positions, there may be, because, and I'm specifically looking at, there was definitely some movement where we had to make some reclassifications of positions. There may be some impact on positions specifically in the library that may be impacted just for instance. So yes, there is that, that may have occurred. But we are in negotiations right now, so.
Thank you.
Anything else? All right, well, thank you again for your report. It definitely clarified a lot of stuff. I speak for myself personally and personnel. We appreciate your time and efforts. And also you waiting for this, so thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Sarah.
Okay, our next item, the memorandum from the town manager, Mark Nelson, RE the closure of town facilities on June 19th, 2025, dated May 12th, 2025, better known as Juneteenth. Mark, do you wanna speak to this?
Just briefly, Chair, thanks for the opportunity. So, I just wanted to clarify, mainly for the public, this board's aware, but the day off was negotiated by several of our collective bargaining units. And so became, obviously, any holiday is a mandatory subject of collective bargaining, and time off always comes up. The town management, I would say, negotiated fair and equitable agreements with our collective bargaining members, respective negotiating teams, and the Board of Selectmen, to the best of my knowledge, has always approved those unanimously, as you did tonight with one before you. And then what was left unsaid, and it was mainly on me, was that if all of your union members are off, then what are you doing with management? And we realized that, for example, the library, all of those folks are off. So with the board's acquiescence, we're going to give management that day off as well. So as a result of that, Town Hall, the library, and Eno, if I have that correct, will be closed on June 19th. Wanted to alert the board of that, and we'll get this posted on our website, on the library's website, and put it out there. So, but the main point is that this grew out of the collective bargaining agreements, and I do want to credit those union negotiating teams because they gave as good as they got, and the management side of that equation was in some regards a significant savings for the town. I'm thinking particularly on the IBPO contract that this board approved. There were components of that were saving our taxpayers significant money. So I just wanted the opportunity to make sure the board understood that this was a little bit more complicated than just giving people the day off, even though it is a federal holiday and a state holiday. So we will be closed, and we'll get that posted as early as tomorrow. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions about this?
Is this a permanent change?
It's a tough question. I think that once your collective bargaining units have negotiated, it's unlikely that they would give it back. Management would have it off as long as the unions do, at least under my administration, if you will. I think that one of the things about non-bargaining groups is that there isn't a contract. And so it's up to the town manager at that point. But certainly I think that in the interest of equity and fairness, that's as long as I'm here, that's what I would do. We've also tried to be more equitable in terms of the GWIs that we come to the board to approve and that find their way into the budget, where you tend to see, since I've been here, everybody getting roughly the same amount. So it's a good question.
Anyone else? I'd just like to underscore what Mark said. It's not just to look at this as some time off. It was part of a negotiation. So we got We didn't just give, we got too. So it was an excellent agreement you got, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, appreciate that.
Okay, last on our agenda is the memorandum from the town manager, Mark Nelson, RE Administrative Approval of Public Gathering Permits dated May 12th, 2025. Mark, do you want to read the dates just so they're read aloud, or?
We could get this posted too, Chair, but
Yes,
May
please.
24th is the Saturday in the Park. Old Day is the tribute to Chicago, obviously at the PAC. The following week, May 31st, is the MS Charity Walk, which you're all familiar with. And June 7th, the last of these three, is the Yukon Health Half Marathon, 10K and 5K up Iron Horse. Expecting, fair amounts of folks for all of these three. Really terrific events. Again, May 24th, May 31st, and again, the last one is June 7th.
3 weeks of fun.
3 weeks of fun in Simsbury, Chair.
All right, with that being said, is there anything else before we make the final motion?
I just wanna point out the few dates for the public, since we're not meeting again until the 16th, is again, the May 28th is the Board of Selectmen bike ride. June 11th is Simsbury High School graduation. June 14th is the Grange Fair, which nobody mentioned. And Juneteenth, which I know Kevin mentioned. And our Pride flag raising is June
Second.
Second. Okay.
Would someone like to make the final motion?
I'll move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous, thank you all.
For over 40 years, SCM has been the voice of our town,
bringing us together through local programming,
education, and live broadcasts.
SCM isn't just about television.
It's about empowering our community,
ensuring our voices are heard during government meetings, and celebrating milestones
like our high school graduations.
But today, SCM faces a challenge.
Our funding structure is based on television subscriptions. And it's no secret, people have been cutting the cord.
With a shift to internet-only subscriptions,
SCM receives less revenue,
even though all our programming is freely available online.
We need your support.
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 Your donation can make a difference.
It will ensure that SCM remains open,
continues to educate our youth, and keeps our community informed.
Thanks to SCM, I've been honing my creative skills, helping me work towards my college degree.
SCM is crucial for keeping our community connected.
SCM isn't just here to broadcast local events. They're actually preserving Simsbury's history.
Join us in preserving Simsbury's voice.
Simsbury's voice.
Together we can ensure that SCM continues to thrive
for generations to come.
Visit our website
or scan the QR code on your screen to make your donation.
Every contribution
counts.
Thank you for supporting Simsbury Community Media,
where your town,
your schools,
and your government come together.